This is the Ap3x Games podcast, where Liam and Sam will plug you into the latest evolutions in the Battle Royale, plus tips and tricks on gameplay and chats and discussions with members of the community. Now, live from the fringes of the frontier, here's Liam and Sam.
Hello, and welcome to the first ever episode of the Ap3x Games podcast. I'm your host, Liam, joined by my co-host, Sam.
Hello.
Hey, Sam. How about you introduce yourself first and talk about how you got started with Ap3x?
Awesome. I'm Sam, 14 years old, Redding, California. Born in Australia, moved here about 9 years ago, and just living here, having a good time. I first got into Ap3x probably around Season 0, Day 1 player, but then the game kind of died for me, honestly, and then came back around Season 3. The game had changed so much, and I just want to see how everything came back, and I've just been into it ever since.
Nice,
How about you?
For me, I started the game when it first launched. I played on a different account, though, so I don't have any of my stats carried over. I really enjoyed the game at first. I thought it was different with the character selection. I liked playing Lifeline at the start. It was an interesting character to be able to heal your teammates pretty quickly and use the drone and stuff. But I've just recently gotten back into Ap3x after a long break, and so I'm excited to play Season 7.
Awesome. How's your experiences with Season 7 stuff going for you?
For me, it's actually going pretty well so far. It started a little rocky. The map, I'm still learning the map. A lot of areas I got to explore, and it's a big open map, so it's hard to find places that you want to fight in, really, because you got to find cover. But I've definitely jumped off the map a few times, including once today, and still working on that. But I like it. How about you?
I love Season 7 so far. It's probably, honestly, one of my favorite seasons to come out, but I don't really like how open the map is and how you can jump off the map at certain areas. Like in running away from fights, you just vault over a ledge thinking it's just a lower floor, but it's just death. Done that a few times, but yeah, just gotta get used to the map, man. But it should be really fun to keep on going and see how the game develops.
Yeah, for sure. Any thoughts on the changes they made between seasons with the ring damage and how that works now?
Well, personally, I think it wasn't a needed change because of the add of the tridents. You could, rotate zones faster. The map's a lot more open, so there's not less mountains you have to run around. I don't think it was a needed change, but I mean, it's a nice thing to have. Longer fights in zone, that kind of stuff. It's quite helpful. I do like it.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm actually quite a fan of it. Today I had my first experience where it actually really helped me out. I had a full stack of every kind of healable you can have, and my team just got almost fully wiped by another squad, but I was able to pop a Phoenix hit and then just hang out until the other team ran out of healables and had to leave. They couldn't find me, so they had to take off so they didn't die from the ring, and I was able to just keep popping syringes and med kits and grab the banners, and I actually still had enough left to res them in the storm, and then we got to safety and won the game after, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, remember you telling me about that? That seems amazing. All right, so how do you feel on the inventory changes since Season, I think, 4 to 5? That's when it changed.
I don't know as much about the inventory changes as you do, but it definitely impacts the gameplay in deciding what you want to carry. Having less options in terms of how much stuff you can carry because of the way they reworked it definitely makes you consider what you need and why you have this in your inventory.
Mm-hmm. All right, my opinion on here, the inventory changes, the ones that we're talking about right now, where I'm pretty sure ammo was not changed. I could be wrong about that, but I know for sure the meds and throwables was the main thing that was changed. It used to be you could hold 6 syringes and 6 cells at once, one stack of 6 each, and then it also used to be 3 bats and 3 medkits, and then 2 of each throwable as a stack as well. And I personally loved that. I loved carrying throwables, and I feel like it put a bigger emphasis on what they were. But now with the changes, with everything, I don't really like it as much, to be honest. I mean, it's still it makes you think, honestly, about what you should carry and when you should carry it and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I feel like it was a big change and it hurt a lot of people. That's for sure.
For sure, and I think it really affected a lot of the lower players more than the higher level players, because I don't think that the lower tier players understand how much ammo they exactly need for their guns. They're probably taking way too much and
Hmm.
overlooking the usability of the heals and the throwables, because even myself, like, I never really respected the throwables enough until recently. Having even two of each throwable sometimes is nice, like two frags, two
Hmm.
arc stars, and two thermites, because they all do different. They play different roles. I love using the arc stars to blow off a door and then throw a thermite or a frag in the room that they're hiding in. Like, that's
Yeah,
usually my go-to strategy, and so that's why I like to have all kinds of them, because that thermite, someone's trying to get a res and you throw a thermite right on their buddy, they're not getting the res off.
they're not. No, 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 absolutely not. That damage stacks like it's nothing. Were you there for the introduction of the Evo Shields, or were you not playing then?
I played before the Evo Shields and I played after. I missed during, so for me it
Okay.
was definitely a huge change, but I like it. I like the change. How about you?
Yeah. For me, I was there when it switched over, and I was there when they were first introduced as another option instead of just having just Evo. I was there for all the changes. Personally, I like the changes. I like the fact that you have to now get either really, really lucky with like finding a purple shield or something, or fighting people in order to get better armor. I think that was a great introduction, and it encourages more fighting than the game did before. Not that the abilities already did encourage fighting or anything like that, but having the armor now only as damage upgradable, I feel like that does help, and it does make the game like more necessary to fight people to get that win, because you have to have the higher Evo. Because going into a fight end game with like two purples and a blues, you're gonna lose because everybody else has red, and
Sure.
red Evo. Yeah, red Evo is huge. It's an extra 125 HP. Now I think it costs like what? It costs like
It costs
750 to get from
750 from purple. But
to
how
Evo.
do you
Yeah.
how do you feel about that change that they made? They increased every
I feel
level.
like yeah, that's true. I feel like it was a good decision to make because so many people were having red way too early. I feel like for me at least, I was getting red a lot. Like a lot really early. Like going into a fight with like maybe two squads there, you could walk out with red Evo. But now you walk out with maybe 300, 400 damage left on your Evo, on your red Evo, and it just encourages more fighting, more damage dealt. So I think it's a good change, to be
I
honest.
think you're definitely right with what you're saying there. I think another huge part of it is it encourages the use of the gold armor instead. You're definitely like getting more value out of the gold armor now, because if you have like a purple that you still have 750 to get to red, and there's a gold armor laying there, and you have a bunch of shield cells and syringes, you probably should take the gold armor. Like that's
Yeah.
what I had in that match um,
Hmm.
that I
Yeah,
had.
that would help a lot.
Yeah, so like it's helpful when you're in the storm and you need to pop the syringes, and it's a huge help like in the later game when you don't have as many resources.
It's a big change, but good thing. It's a good thing. That's what we're trying to say here. I like the Evo armor. I think it was a great addition to the game, and it's been good that it's just been there lying around doing whatever it does. But I feel like if they did, maybe there's like an LTM or something. I don't know if this was like big enough to bring us an LTM, but like a change for maybe a little bit or something. Bring back like remove Evo armor and bring back regular armor just for like a day or two and see how the game changes completely, like the style of gameplay changes with the different armor. I would honestly love to see that and play again and have just the nostalgia of having just a regular like purple gold armor, you know.
True, true. How would you feel if they decided that they want to change on that and have the public matches be the regular armor and the ranked gameplay with the Evo.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't mind that, to be honest, because I feel like pubs, yeah, it's a lot more calm. It would probably be easier to find purple armor, with like the addition of Loba now and all the looting and all the getting to high ground and all that stuff. I feel like it would be a good change if they did that, because pubs, it's not as intense and there's not as much fighting, so it is kind of harder to get to red armor in pubs. But in ranked, you're definitely pushing for those kill points, you're pushing for those placements, you're pushing for everything. So having Evo armor in ranked, I wouldn't mind at all.
Yeah, I think that's actually like a solid change if they did decide to do that.
This has been the Ap3x Games podcast with Liam and Sam. If you haven't already, subscribe to this show now to be the first to hear new episodes, jam-packed with more news and gaming updates, along with tips, tricks, and chats about Ap3x legends. If you can't wait until the next episode, keep up with Liam and Sam on Instagram at the Ap3x Games podcast.
That's all we have for today. Thanks for listening to the Ap3x Games podcast. Go follow our Instagram, subscribe on YouTube, come join our Discord. It's the easiest way to chat with us and squad up and find amazing people like us.